Reports of Kenyan economy in ICU heading to total meltdown if the situation cannot be arrested has sent shivers down the state corridors. And now the country is wary whether we have the silicon power to fix issues battering our nation. Welcome to the bold analysis. Raila Odinga team says Ruto doesn't have the mantle to do it. UDA are asking for more time, blaming it on Uhuru Kenyatta. But the population is impatient and Raila's job has remained to remind them. Make sure you watch this podcast to the end. It's a bit of information and data, and it will be a very important one for you to watch. Sunday Nation covered this story. And Nation, I think it's the one seeing there. They're saying economic red flags, and amongst the things they have listed is there is no money to pay public servants' salaries. That's gobbling up 2/3 of the tax revenue, and shilling taking a heavy beating against the dollar. Tax collection so far 714 billion short of the annual target, and political instability hitting economic activity and keeping away foreign investors. 250 billion euro bond maturing next year. And so in short, we are not yet into some sort of breakthrough. We'll have to look at that. That is what Nation, that was a snippet of what Nation was talking about. So this situation has put some foremen into hot soup, or rather, they are the focal point in terms of what is going on. David Ndii, the chairman of William Ruto's Economic Council, who is also William Ruto's personal economic advisor, has admitted that UDA is wasteful. But then, saying that situation is not good, but can be contained. Professor Ndung Njuguna, the Treasury CS, is blaming the taxman. And in what he's saying, he's actually talking about the tax obligations. At this point, let me give you some interesting information about our tax collection so far. I know you really need to get this. Huh? The data by Treasury released on Thursday shows that Kenya Revenue Authority is struggling to meet its obligations, and the taxman is required to collect 714 billion in the next 3 months so that the government can meet its 2.1 target. What does that mean? That from now, the KRA are supposed to collect 7.9 billion daily, so that in the next 3 months, they can collect what the country needs, which is a tall order. And it's been told is an impossibility. The other second aspect, the other third person is Anthony Mwaura, the chairman of KRA. He is the man at the helm of the tax collection body. Azimio la Umoja are saying that because of radical changes at KRA, it has demoralized workers, while also some analysts say that we might have made a blunder, that to the tax collectors, the taxman, we should never have allowed a situation of uncertainty where someone doesn't feel safe around it. And an analyst said that when the taxman, people working at the tax house are uncertain, they tend to revert to a conservatory mode just to steal, or rather to take what they can grab. They go to grabbing power. Now, the other person is Patrick Njoroge. He's going to exit the office in the next 1 month, but has kept his silence over the matter, but trying to argue out the case of the Kenyan dollar at the international market. Ladies and gentlemen, political goodwill is becoming a challenge, and there is outright confusion even in the topmost decision-making organ of the country. And two leaders who are really the people that are embodied with the responsibility, are bestowed the responsibility to speak about what government is, are not speaking from the same language. In February, this is President Ruto telling us about the economy.
My first assignment the last 5 months, subsidies. That is why today the economy of Kenya has stabilized, and I want to assure all our citizens that we will not go back to reckless borrowing. We will not go back to subsidies that benefit brokers, cartels, and people who are politically correct. We will not go back there.
But just a month later, Musalia Mudavadi this weekend, now this is the month of April, was in Vihiga and contradicted that, saying that the economy is not stable and they should be given 2 to 3 years. In fact, they're not even sure whether it's given 2 to 3. You know, if you're given 2 to 3 years, then you're simply saying you want to be given first term, at least you're given second term to fix, because 2 to 3 years means that is the end of your term. So he's saying that something different from what the son of Sugoi said.
Kwa hivyo tukisema tuende kiholela, itabidi serikali iwe inaongeza ushuru kila siku. Tutafikisha wananchi wapi? Haiwezekani. Na mimi nataka niwaambie, kama mtu ambaye amekaa kwa wizara ya fedha, itatuchukua karibu miaka 2-3 ndio tuanze kupata nafuu kidogo kwa ile shimo tumewekwa.
And talking about this, I am reminded that politicians posing as truthful men with hard-hitting statements in the guise of saying the truth are actually agents pollinating lies. The truth is that things are bad. If you want to know things are bad, then you will understand why we've resorted back to campaigns so that we can win political confidence, or we can go back to our political supporters, simply because if you fragment the population into Azimio and Kenya Kwanza supporter, and let me tell you, that is why UDA visibility has also been upscaled. It is upscaled not because there is an election, but we want to fragment the population so that instead of people arguing as Kenyans, people will start arguing as UDA and Azimio. With that, you can tone down the harshness that comes with judging the government. So, at that juncture, I have very critical information here from what the insiders are saying. But before we look at that, very interesting, I don't want you to miss, allow me to remind you about our fundraiser. At this juncture, I want to say thank you. This is Sunday night. I started this fundraiser on Friday, I think Friday evening. Thank you guys. Asanteni sana. I know I'm getting the messages that so many I cannot answer all, but I'm just so grateful by the reaction. We've always done it. I think we've hit 30,000 if I'm not wrong. Yes, around 30,000. So I believe we'll reach the target so that this guy can really get a reprieve yeah, for those who have not known what was going on here, is there is a gentleman whose wife was went to deliver, then there was complications. He underwent tear and excessive bleeding. Then there was need for medical services, extensive medical services. That then the bill ballooned to 80,000. So the guy is grounded. The wife is also detained in Kenyatta Hospital. So we are running a 1-week fundraiser that will end next week, so that we can help release her from hospital. Mercy. I understand she's from Kisii, by the way. And I believe that we'll put it together. I'll put the number there. And I'm now trying from this Monday, I'll be sharing that video at the end of every analysis. So even at the end of this, make sure you watch to the end. And may God bless you as we support others. We've always done it. Here's order. Now, let me give you some interesting facts. Why? Insiders are saying that William Ruto's system is collapsed. And you cannot be told, but the system is not available. This is what is happening. The current oil deal, the oil that we are importing from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, the two companies of the United Arab Emirates, I think I analyzed it here, we are buying it on loan. So it's a 6 months loan. They were going to supply us with oil for 6 months on loan. Now that deal has been touted and praised as cutting edge and top notch. But insiders are saying that why we went for that fuel was to make sure first that we got fuel on loan. Number one, we've got the money we have, we can use to pay the loans that we have. Number two, we will reduce the pressure on the dollar. But this is what these guys are saying, that after 6 months, we'll be back to match. Because after 6 months, we will be paying that money. It's like a form of loan. So what's happening here is this. For after every 6 months, there will be a pressure on the dollar, just like we had a pressure in this one in March. So there will be a lump sum demand for the dollars to pay. But then there is a lie that many people maybe do not get. Not that what you were told, the public was told that for the first time people are going to buy oil in Kenyan shillings. Those who are buying in Kenyan shillings are these 96 oil marketing companies within Kenya that are buying from 3 companies. The Orelix, is it Kulalo, Oil Kenya something? And there is I did it. There are 3 companies. Now we'll find out. So those 96 oil marketing companies are buying from hapa nchi na Kenya shillings. But when we are paying Dubai, we're going to pay them in dollars. So after every 6 months, there will be pressure on the dollar. So this is what someone is saying. We have just deferred a loan. So what is happening with the oil deal is just another form of loan. Now, in the next 6 months, that is in October, another Euro bond, just like this one for March, will be maturing. So, Treasury will again find itself in this dilemma between paying salaries or paying debts. And we'll find ourselves in that dilemma because if the March situation replicates in the next 6 months. What was the March situation? We had repayment obligation, but our taxes were below expectation. If you think it is just 2023, then you are wrong. In 2024, unakumbuka that Euro bond that Raila Odinga was making, that really was the whistleblower about during Uhuru Ruto 1. That Euro bond, 250 billion, will be maturing next year in July. This one that nearly grounded us was 150 billion. Now, next year, July, it will be 250. Insiders are asking, is William Ruto going to contain the pressure? Now, this is it. For us to come out of this gentleman here, Anthony Mwaura, must make sure that we upscale our revenue collection. That is it. We must upscale our revenue collection. But because, there are many factors that plays into it, we must have political goodwill, increasing the tax base. We must have favorable environment for investors, both local and foreign investors. And we must have consistent and predictable tax regime, tax policies. Integration of IT, of technology in tax collection. There is a lot of it that comes with it. But on the other end, this gentleman, Azimio la Umoja, knows all those things I've been speaking about for the last 15 minutes. And so what they're saying, their work is very simple, is to push the population to demand. And so the population cannot be cannot be patient. And of course, human wants are insatiable. You cannot satisfy them. They are unlimited. People will always want solutions. And that is why someone says that Ruto team likely to sink this country. Economic meltdown. I've narrowed down to 4 issues that, according to me, are behind the mess that we're going through, and why, if William Ruto is not careful, he's going to fail in it. Number 1, we have Sky Team blue eye shoddy deals. Deals. People are just cutting deals here and there. And these deals are the ones that are choking this economy. Look at the fertilizer. Follow. I've been trying to follow it. By there, I'm trying to put pieces together. The subsidized fertilizer. It's a whole total. It's a big scandal going on. And the media reporting about how the deals are going on. Number 2, look at the Belarus tractor deal. It's shrouded in some sort of secrecy. No one knows what's going on. Even this oil from Dubai. Let's not forget about the Hustler Fund. No one knows what, where, what's going on. So we have a Sky team of, people who just want to steal. Sorry to say. I don't know if I'm using the right word. We have a Sky team of people who are just taking the advantage of the situation and advantage of proximity to the president. Maybe it's thriving in the fact that William Ruto does not care. Maybe William Ruto needed to do what Uhuru is saying here. If you do that, it's down to crack the whip on corruption. No, I'm making a mistake. That one can't happen. The other second thing is this. What's happening borders incompetency, but we have politically insured incompetency. A situation where William Ruto can sit with his strategist and the strategist can tell him that, Mr. President, it's about time you fire X, Y, Z. The president will try to look left, right, and center and will face his strategist in their eyes that is impossible. Because some of those positions are politically insured. And remember, Azimio are waiting for any small fall, any slight fall, any slight fallout. And William Ruto will want it tight to secure second term. Anti-Uhuru political chaos are holding this economy. I once analyzed here that local banks can bail us. I was speaking to a banker. Yeah, I have a friend. Yes, a very good friend. Was telling me, Kevin, local banks can help us even in this situation. But no one is willing to borrow from government because government is very arrogant. We need to hold it together. And the reason why this cannot work here is we are hawking hopes to the population, knowing very well that those things are not possible. And we're saying that we can do them. President was in Kisii, saying, I'm going to build an airport. The other day, I don't know, he was where, saying, I'm going to reduce the price of, I don't know, cost of fuel, I don't know by what. In Rift Valley, even Rift Valley were promised some referral hospital. There are a lot of promises. I don't know, you can give us, bank the promises that have been done, and you'll understand that we need to get it. I don't know what's your take on this. But then to say the truth, that was my best podcast, according to me. I don't know. What do you think? That was my best podcast this year. Let me leave you the snippet of what our interview with Mercy's husband, about what they're going through, and kindly let's support. I believe we'll be in a position to release Mercy and to get her husband a motorbike, so that she can also resume, because he can also resume work. He has not been working, he's grounded at home with the child. So I believe we can pull this together. Santeni.
Okay, this started after my wife gave birth at Pumwani Hospital.
Date?
On date 20th February. So after she gave birth, mtoto alikuwa nursery after 5 days. So after 5 days from nursery, we went back home. We were just home, things were well. After some few weeks, then wife got complications. Alianza kubleed, mysteriously bleeding, and I was shocked. Ran out to call the doctor, and the doctor told me to bring the lady in the hospital.
Wapi? Unaishi wapi?
Okay, naishi Dandora, phase 5.
Okay.
So daktari alijaribu akashindwa. The lady was seriously bleeding. Akaniambia nitafute taxi to rush mgonjwa Kenyatta. Nikafanya hivyo, tukafika Kenyatta. Wakati nilifika Kenyatta, mama alikuwa admitted, na from hapo, so
alikuwa admitted sasa Kenyatta.
Alikuwa admitted Kenyatta Hospital.
Na wakati ya admitted the child now, but the child, the child is fine?
By the time...
But then this is the child?
Yeah.
And
this is my baby.
This is your baby?
Yeah.
Ni baby boy and
baby boy. Jason.
Oh, good. Even my son was born in February. So, now where are you from first?
Okay, right now I'm from the Kenyatta Hospital. Nilipeleka mtoto kunyonya, and that is how I always do it. Nampeleka, ananyonya, namrudisha kwa nyumba.
Unampeleka kila siku?
Daily.
In the morning, ama unakana the whole day?
No. Nampeleka in the evening. In the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then sasa sahi ukitoka unaenda tu mnalala?
Sahi nikitoka naenda kwa nyumba. So nikiwa pale kwa nyumba, mtoto ana survive na maziwa ya kuchemsha. Nachemsha, naongeza maji kidogo. And that's it.
Wow. You've really impressed me. How about the child? Alikuwa sawa hata wakitoka Pumwani?
Okay, mtoto wakati tulikuwa tunatoka Pumwani, mtoto since alikunywa ile amniotic fluid, ile uchafu, so mtoto amekuwa na shida hiyo ya kungorota, anangorota. Ni kama anafungana hewa.
Okay.
So doctors gave me some medicine, ile ya kudrop kwa mapua wakati anatoa hiyo sauti. So hiyo ndo nimekuwa nikitumia, but still at times nasikia anatoa hiyo sauti kama
hata sasa nasikia na
hata sasa. Yeah.
What did the doctors in Kenyatta say was the problem?
Doctors in Kenyatta waliniambia mama wakati alizaa kuna vile mtoto alimrarua, they got a tear. So walimshona, alienda theater wakamshona.
Na alizaa normal?
Alizaa normal.
Na tear. Okay. So, anafaa show me or something.
Yeah.
You may not understand because we do have a lady here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was what was bringing the complication about the bleeding.
Yeah.
Guys, I was told this, and I really got really touched by his story, Stephen's story. You know, when he was telling me you were in Kenyatta, and I was like, okay, what's going on? So it's been there for how many days?
Since date 2nd.
Date 2nd.
Yeah.
The bill is?
The bill is 80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
Wow. But then, now that you take care every evening, when do you go to work now? Do you even go to work now that?
No. Okay. About my work, I'm a bodaboda rider. Na pikipiki naendesha ni ya mtu na ni ya loan. So wakati nilikuwa na hii shida, pikipiki ilibidi tu iendelee kufanya kazi sababu inalipwa daily. So mwenyewe alichukua na alitafuta mwingine aendelee.
Oh, so what you normally, your work is kuendesha boda?
Yes.
So because of this, you know, that is you can. But then how do you survive? Okay, you should not ask that. So should get what is the terms of the loan? How much do you pay to get a pikipiki and loan so that you pay boda maybe?
Okay, for now, loan walipandisha nini deposit. Kwa sahi deposit ni 25,000. Okay. Then
so if you get 25,000,
yes,
you go and pay, and you're given a motorbike on loan.
Yeah.
Then you pay is the rest in installments.
Yeah.
Which you can manage.
I can manage to get 500 per day.
Oh. You unapata in this around Dandora.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I brought Stephen here because I wanted us to get feel of this story, and this is one we can do this. We've always done this. This is 80,000. Today's date 14. If you give yourself 1 week, Friday. Yeah, so let's try. Let's do a 50 shillings challenge. I've decided not to. I'm going to share the number, nobody's number, because of a bit of that disturbance, but I am also asking those who can be willing to reach out to me. My number is there. I'll directly connect you with him so that whichever God has blessed you with, at least I talk. So Mama amekaa hospitali for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you guys are young couples, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, and may God bless you for being a father to this child. I know it's really touching. It's really touching the heart, and I believe that as Bold family, this will come to an end. I know we will find a way. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Sawa. Asante. Aya.